This is Top Accolade Global News Updates. I am Soibifa Jagarich. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Kyiv on Tuesday in the first visit to Ukraine by a senior U.S. official since Congress passed the long-delayed $61 billion military aid package for the country last month. The previously undisclosed trip aims to show U.S. solidarity with Ukraine as it struggles to fend off heavy Russian bombardment on its northeastern border. Blinken, who arrived in Kyiv by train early on Tuesday morning, hopes to send a strong signal of reassurance to the Ukrainians who are obviously in a very difficult moment, said a U.S. official who briefed reporters traveling with Blinken on condition of anonymity. The secretary's mission here is really to talk about how our supplemental assistance is going to be executed in a fashion to help shore up their defenses and enable them to increasingly take back the initiative on the battlefield. The official said artillery, long-range missiles known as ATACMS, and air defense interceptors approved by President Joe Biden on April 24th were already reaching the Ukrainian forces, the official said. Blinken will reassure Ukrainian officials, including President Volodymyr Zelensky, on ensuring U.S. support and deliver a speech focused on Ukraine's future, the official said. Kyiv has been on the back foot on the battlefield for months as Russian troops have slowly advanced, mainly in the Donetsk region to the south, taking advantage of Ukraine's shortage of troop manpower and artillery shells. Russia's forces hold significant advantage in manpower and munitions. At least 14 people died and 75 others were injured after a billboard bigger than an Olympic swimming pool fell on them during a thunderstorm in India's financial capital, Mumbai. Authorities said with dozens still feared trapped. Video shows the towering hardened billowing in wind before collapsing on houses and a fuel station next to a busy road in the eastern suburb of Gatopa as a dust storm and rain lashed the city, bringing traffic to a standstill and disrupting flights at Mumbai Airport. Mumbai Municipal Corporation (BMC) said at least 75 injured people were taken to hospitals following the accident and 31 have been discharged. The agency owning the billboard did not have a permit from the BMC to put up the hoarding, the municipal body said in a statement. The hoarding measured about 1,338 square meters, that is 14,400 square feet. It said bigger than an Olympic pool's 1,250 square kilometer, the maximum permitted size for a hoarding. The BMC said it has instructed the agency to remove all its hoardings immediately. To prevent such accidents from happening again, instructions have been given to conduct a structural audit of all hoardings in Mumbai and immediately take down dangerous ones. Eknath Shinde, the chief minister of Maharashtra state of which Mumbai is the capital, said in a post on X. About 25 people and some cars were still trapped under the crumbled hoarding, said a BMC official who did not want to be named as he was not authorized to speak to the media. Officials from fire service, police, disaster response and other authorities continued rescue operations that were taking longer because gas cutters could not be used at the site due to presence of the fuel pump. ChatGPT maker OpenAI said it would release a new AI model called GPT-4o capable of realistic voice conversation and able to interact across text and image. Its latest move to stay ahead in a race to dominate the emerging technology. New audio capacity enable users to speak to ChatGPT and obtain real-time responses with no delay, as well as interrupt ChatGPT while it is speaking. Both hallmarks of realistic conversations that AI voice assistants have found challenging, the OpenAI researchers showed at a live stream event. It feels like AI from the motives. Talking to a computer has never felt really natural for me. Now it does, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman wrote in a blog post. Microsoft backed OpenAI faces growing competition and pressure to expand the user base of ChatGPT, its popular chatbot product that wowed the world with its abilities to produce human-like written content and top-notch software code. At the live stream event, OpenAI researchers showed off ChatGPT's new voice assistant capabilities. In one demo, ChatGPT used its vision and voice capabilities to talk a researcher through solving a math equation on a sheet of paper. In another demo, researchers showed the GPT-4o model's capability of real-time language translation. OpenAI demonstrations verged on science fiction, with ChatGPT and its interlocutor at one point engaging in poetish banter. The OpenAI researcher told the chatbot he was in a great mood because he was demonstrating how useful and amazing you are. Shortly after launching in late 2022, ChatGPT was called the fastest application ever to reach 100 million monthly active users. However, worldwide traffic to ChatGPT's website has been on a roller coaster ride in the past year and is only now returning to its May 2023 peak, according to analysts. Union leaders and U.S. lawmakers on Monday criticized Boeing's lockout of its unionized firefighters and urged the plane makers to reach a contract deal. Earlier this month, Boeing locked out about 130 members of the International Association of Firefighters Local I-66 who rejected two contract offers, a move that last week drew the consent of President Joe Biden. At a rally outside Boeing headquarters in Arlington, Virginia, IAFF President Edward Kelly, AFL-CIO President Liz Schuler, and Representative Val Hull urged Boeing to make a deal. Hull, a Democrat, said she hopes Boeing will come to the table and they prioritize safety and they invest in their workforce. On social media, Democratic Senator John Fetterman said Boeing should focus on keeping critical safety workers and paying dignified wages, particularly given their recent safety and quality control issues where these safety workers may be needed. Boeing, which did not immediately comment, said last week its contract offer to increase firefighters' average take-home pay from $91,000 to $112,000 in the first year remains on the table. We remain committed to securing an agreement, Boeing said. The union should allow our employees to vote on our offer, which was present before the lockout. The International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, IAM, is separately negotiating a new contract on behalf of over 30,000 workers who build Boeing 737 MAX jets at a time when the plane maker needs to ramp up production. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex, and LGBTIQ people in European Union face less discrimination but more physical on sexual attacks than 3 years ago, a vast survey by an EU rights body showed on Tuesday. The online survey of more than 100,000 people who identify as LGBTIQ carried out in June, July, and August of 2023 found only slight overall changes compared with the previous such survey 3 years earlier. The EU Agency for Fundamental Rights, FRA, said in a report on the findings published on Tuesday, more LGBTIQ people in Europe are now open about who they are. At the same time, they face more violence, harassment, and bullying than before. The Vienna-based FRA said in a statement on the report, data adjusted to allow comparison between surveys showed the proportion of respondents in the 23 EU states who said they had experienced a physical or sexual attack in the 5 years before the survey for being LGBTIQ rose to 14% from 11% in the previous survey. The worst performing EU countries were Bulgaria 18% and Latvia 17%. Intersex and trans people had the highest rates. Roughly 36% of respondents in the EU reported feeling discriminated against in at least one area of their lives in the year before the latest survey because they are LGBTIQ, down from 42% in the previous one. The countries with the highest rates were Bulgaria and Cyprus, both with 48%. The people who reported feeling discriminated against the most were intersex 61% and trans people 54%, the only categories that were above 50%. That is the size of top accolade global news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy Tuesday.